Hello there and welcome back everyone. It's time to get us a real combat ship for a change. And what I'm aiming for as a rough guideline is something that's very similar to the Raider, I think, in concept, as far as design, because after all, it is going to be a ship that's going to be strictly all missile weaponry, because with the Kry'klons mercenary ship reducing kinetic attack, I assume, or railgun damage, I think missiles are my only real option because the Fireflies are shield resistant, so that's going to be a pain in the ass to deal with. And like I just said, railguns, if I ever have to fight the mercenary ship that they have, as well as any fleet escorting it, it's going to be a sure loss, I think. So let's get started. So I think what I'm going to do as far as starting is to get the wing components set up. So actually let me find them a small scale. Let's see, what kind of wings do I want? Because I think these would be useful as like a tip or something. Because I tried using them for the Raider 4. And I do like the potential of them a lot. Only thing I gotta keep in mind is they have a lot of little thrusters on them, so I don't know ideally if I like them that way. Alternatively, I wonder if I should use them like this way. Like the blade portion, the curve is actually on the inside of the ship. I'll consider it as we get developed, I think. So we'll just spread them out and use them for a reference point. To get started. Also rotate down about 30 degrees. Give us a nice slope there. And we'll work from there. What about scaling though? Do I care about scaling at all? I think 100 should be enough. I'll bring it up to 120 there just to be safe. Then work from that. Let's see, this was the bot I used for the Raider, so is there some way I can get something similar to that? I wonder. And I also use this, but this was the wing component, so I like this being like the central body, but the problems with that is I will need to cover up the sides to an extent. And I will need a little bit extra superstructure, I think, to get what I want, because the wings aren't going to do it on their own, even if I do bring them in some. So what kind of component would be good for that? This is a nice blocky type of component. I have no idea what it is. It looks like more like eternal cosmetic piece more than anything rather than superstructure, so I'm going to leave that be. Actually, let me change the type. That might help a bit. Possibly. Well, all these aren't even categorized in what kind of type they are, so that's not really helpful. I was hoping if there was something that was categorized as a superstructure that might help a little bit. Is there anything that's doing that? Bulkhead. That might do, but these are all collector pieces. Shells, thrusters, generic. So really nothing I can use. Also, I should look into the possibility of using Iconian pieces. Let's start improving my ship design practice here by getting brand new components from two separate races. Although it does mean I have to prepare ahead of time to make sure all these cosmetic stuff are already loaded up, which would make things a little bit more convenient and a little bit faster. Now, I'm going to ignore all the other races because like I said, there's so much to look over. It's easily going to be a pain in the ass to try and figure out, unless a specific one catches my eye. So, superstructure. That is the name of the game. Can I find something that's good? Because this is circular. I think the best I can hope for this component is maybe using a very small piece, but it's where the main thrusters and the main engines would be housed. So this would probably be on the back of the ship. I just gotta have it like a consistent circle now is the only thing. So this is gonna be hard because everything's like an oval. So I don't think that's as reliable as I would like. Now the other question, how big do I make it? Okay, I think 75 is what I want. It's starting to get too narrow compared to the height. Now we'll move it in, cover up those engines, and see how that looks. And then I also need to figure out if I want it right in the middle. The only big problem I dislike is this texturing might be problematic. So I almost wonder... I think actually instead I'll make this bigger. Let's get that up to 120 as well. And these components will be won't be as apparent with their texture skin, at least. So maybe that'll help some. Let's just cover up the engines to see. Okay, that's not bad. It might be too long, but we'll have to wait and see until I get some other superstructure in. Again, texture is a bit of a problem. So, I already had a brief look at the pirate human ship design, so there wasn't really much options there. But so instead, do I just fill the slope out with this little thing and just at least fill out, if nothing else? I don't know. I probably will still want to attempt to cover up if nothing else, but I don't know if that's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna work. Ew, excuse me a moment. Damn cold. Irritates throat, making it difficult. Now, where the hell was I? Oh yeah, I was talking about trying to cover, maybe see if there's a component cover over this at some point. But that fills out nicely, I think. Well, actually, I could stretch it up some, but again, the big concern will be the textures, because there will be some overlap, so I would love to find some way to cover it up. Now, do I round it out with any engines or not? Or more specifically, do I round it out with Iconian engines? At least these circular ones would actually fit in there nicely, if nothing else. I kind of do wish that they made the textures kind of similar, because how it's so easy to have a, well, it's going to be so difficult to get like a proper ship design with all these with the different races having different types of textures. You figured there'd be a little bit of consistency. But those thrusters look good there. I like them. I like them a lot. Only thing is texture on top. And I think that's what I'm going to do with just icons for now. So back to our pirate components, and how do we cover this up? Because I still haven't really got the superstructure I would have liked. So, is there any way I can fill this out? I'm not really certain, and I have to change the type. And these are more like cosmetic stuff, aren't they? This actually looks like something that could connect. Could I use it for anything? It's probably too big. Actually, let me try inverting it. It looks like, yeah, that looks a little bit better, but can the wings connect to it? And how would that look when I connect it in? Because now the wings may seem a little bit too big, but let me raise it up. Get as flush as we can. So far, so good. What are the dislikes? I feel like the wings should actually go in a little bit more, which means the problem with that is I'm going to have to adjust the rotation some to match the curve of this little piece that it's attaching to. Then I might have to adjust the thickness of it to help. And then the final issue is the engine that might be sticking out. Actually, that fits in there almost perfectly. Now, if I wish I had an easy way to tell how it looked on the bottom. But there's not much I can do about that, I guess. So I like that concept. Do I make it thicker? And what causes the thickness? That's longer. That's wider. So, how thick do I make it? I think that's as good as I'm going to get. It's almost flush. Again, like with the Iconian pieces, this piece here, the textures are starting to be a little apparent, and I dislike that. Now, let's work on the main body. Do I make this longer? And how will that alter everything? Lighting is out of whack. This lighting here almost demands it to be like a command center of sorts. Yeah, everything is a bit thrown out of whack. I don't know how much I like that, to be honest. Maybe there's a sweet spot. Maybe there's a sweet spot to help minimize. Oh, it's probably because it's too high. Maybe that's why I am having concern, but everything's gonna move down with it. Yeah, everything including the wings is moving down, I think, so that's not a good idea. So it looks, yeah, it's just a one piece. Yeah, it's a little light there, it makes it look like it's higher up than everything else. So I wonder if instead, can I smooth that out some? And if I can, what do I smooth it out with? I don't think I can really find a simple component, can I? Ooh, we got a nice little tail fin if I want to so throw that on. I think it's too fancy. It doesn't fit, not to mention it has to be tremendously small for it to even not cover up the lighting, so never mind that thought. So, what can I cover that over with? That's nice and discreet. There's a lot of components here I could just slap on. Ooh, blocky texture is should be an easy way to do it. Oh, maybe that still does it. I was thinking of like rotating it and putting it up on top there, but filling it in like this might be good. I just gotta shrink it down some. Make sure it looks flush. And I think that may have been a nice simple way to fix it. Let's see, let me just get it in the proper place first. Okay, I think that's good enough. Not perfect. Not perfect, but now we get a nose and we have to develop a nice little area where I'm going to have all the missile pods come from. Because the wing seems way too narrow for firing off an endless supply of missiles, I'm afraid to say. We're going to have to work on that, but first, cockpit. This looks more like a fighter cockpit. I don't know if I want it. And honestly, what kind of cockpit did I have for the Raider? I'm trying to remember what component I used, because that would help influence what route I want to take. But I can't remember. I can't remember what I used. So just give me a moment here as I browse through everything. We have this piece here, which might actually... that has potential, but I would have to cover up the bottom. So I'll hold on to that idea there. That I like the potential of. Now, where is it? I know it's around here somewhere. I used it before. I don't know where it is. Oh! No, it can't be this component, but I like the potential of this Terra model, I guess, which was for the repair integrity field as far as I'm concerned. Ah, there you are. I found you, hiding on me in this mess of components that I'm not even familiar with. So, do I repeat? Do I do an almost carbon copy of what I did with the Raider? Because this is already bulkier, bigger. It's just a matter of doing it right and adjusting accordingly. Because I think I like that potential. So, let's find a good scale. 40 might be good. Now, let me get the set axis figured out. And then we'll move it into place. How far forward do I want it though? Because it's really damn long, needless to say. I think that I almost argue that'd be too much unless I make it thicker. So, still argue that may be too long. Let me back into place and try fill it out some. Not to the point that it covers over the lane though. But at least that adds to the bulkiness to it. Because it might even need to be offset down a bit. I think. Again, trying to find that sweet spot. Because yeah, if I do continue on with it as is, that back lighting will need to get covered up too. And also I think the textures need to be inverted. That helps some. It doesn't look much different, but it helps. Nice darker color. Makes it represent like Black Death. I'm having fun with that. And it helps distinguish it a bit from the Raider. Because the cockpit is what's going to make it most noticeable, I feel. Alright, I feel like we're making good progress. Only thing is, need to widen this area here with other components and such. And then, again, figure out how to arm the missiles. Now let me flesh this out. Or can I even flesh out? If anything, it's too high, isn't it? Yeah, it's too high. At least it seems like it. So that's going to be hard to find the center for, I think. Because I may have just moved it out of center. Because you think this would be the center, but it's too high. Did I click on the wrong component? I think I may have. Bear with me a moment. Just trying to figure this out. When is it obviously overlapping? Probably right there. So I think 90 is close. It's close. Let's try 100. Okay, 100 just goes over, I think. And how does it look on the bottom? Nah, it's over too much, just a little bit. But I think I can fix that still. I think I can still fix that. Now, the big interesting question, do I make it longer? That may be a bit too long, possibly. It has potential. I like the potential of it. It makes it a little more convenient to kind of connect the side pieces there if I do it that way, though. And I think it's way too long. Let's hold off on that idea a bit. As neat as that is, that would kind of require this component to not even be there, I think. And there's still the possibility of just moving it in. How does it look if I off... Damn it! That explains why it was off-center. It's not even connected to that component when I try and move it. So much for that idea. Otherwise, good potential, good potential. I like it. I'm liking it a lot. Very consistent, but again, the wing, it seems a lot more narrower. Hell, do I make it longer? Or even narrower? Because this is more of a Corvette, mind you. I absolutely hate how it looks when it's short, though. But if it's long, it looks more like a fighter, though, if I make it too long. So that's something to be careful of. I don't know if that's appropriate, because I'm thinking a Corvette, like a gunboat, a gunship with like turrets, more or less. I think Homeworld has spoiled me a little bit on what my impression of Corvettes are, so I don't know if this is an accurate representation, but it looks mobile, which kind of fits what I want with the S-Track at least, so it is somewhat to my liking still, so I can't object to that.